What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about the Apple Car, which is one of the most highly anticipated vehicles coming out most likely this decade. So I do want to give you some updates and things that you need to know as far as partnerships and who it might be and potentially when it may be announced. Before I get into any of that though, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that though, let's get right to it. So it's very interesting to see the latest round of surveys all showing that roughly about 26% of new vehicle owners would buy the Apple Car without basically even knowing anything about it. It goes to show the huge amount of power that Apple does have. You throw Apple's logo on absolutely anything, there is going to be buyers out there. So that's very interesting. But more so about this, those same surveys put Apple as far as a more popular EV vehicle than even Tesla, which doesn't make any sense to me, but goes to show again the huge amount of power that Apple does have. So again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. When it comes down to it though, Tesla could be a potential partnership as well, so that's something you need to factor in. And again, that would be a huge powerhouse as far as that goes. But still, that aside, they have announced this, so they do want to have a vehicle launched by 2025, and this year they do anticipate to actually announce who they're going to be partnering with. There's a wider range of possible companies out there, such as Lucid, Mullen, GM, Tesla, Volkswagen, Nissan. There's unlimited amount of possibilities. So a lot of people want to know what is coming for a partnership, because I think everyone will benefit greatly if they do partner with Apple. So that's something that we definitely need to take a step back on. And so as far as when they might actually announce this partnership, it could possibly be tomorrow. There is an Apple event coming out tomorrow, as you can see here. Historically, they've always kind of showcased and announced new products, such as obviously the iPad, phone, things like that. But this might be the perfect venue to actually announce about the Apple Car. So let me know your thoughts on that, as well as a partnership. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. This is only for entertainment purposes, and in the end, I hope you are entertained by this. But a lot of people deeply want to know about the partnership, who it might possibly be. I think for us to answer that question, we'd have to look at previous known information. So right now, we do know the Apple Car had Project Titan, where they were trying to develop a lot of different attributes of that. Obviously, they had a lot of moving parts, and they did previously try to have a partnership set with Hyundai. So unfortunately, that did fail, but it goes to show what they're looking for. And even in their actual news articles, they have talked on what they actually liked about Hyundai. So it does appear that they actually want a established, which they did use that word, they want established automaker that can actually produce vehicles cheap and very fast. So that's something you need to factor in. Obviously, it meets Hyundai's quote, which, as we do know, it didn't necessarily work out with Hyundai. Also, in similar circumstances, they tried to approach Nissan, and Nissan turned them down. Because like I've already said in a lot of videos in the past, whoever they do partner with will ultimately have to kneel down to them and do whatever they say. And unfortunately, Nissan did say no. We are not bowing down. We're not doing what you want. We're going to do and continue to do what we want. So I think this is where a partnership, a lot of companies and people do want partners with, for instance, like I said, Mullen or Lucid. But would a lot of Lucid fans and investors really want Lucid to bow down completely to Apple? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, which I know a lot of you might just say, you know what, Apple can get unlimited amount of buyers. So yeah, any company bowing down might be beneficial for both. So again, it's one of those things. Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to it though, they also liked as far as the fundamental basics of a Hyundai vehicle. So as far as what products they use and technically the EV component to that. So I think in general, that is a very big thing that a lot of us need to realize, is the technology fact isn't necessarily what Apple is looking for. I think they're just more so looking for someone who can produce on a mass scale their products. And based on the latest article about the Apple Car, which came out on July the 11th, 2022, it talks on absolutely everything. So this is a very in-depth article all about this. And so it talks on hypothetically the same thing that I mentioned. What is Apple looking for as far as a partnership? And so in general, though, they do really want to focus on autonomous driving. Based on all of this information, they have sufficient amount of patents out there for that. So I think right now that is something that we really need to realize, that whether Apple actually does partner with someone or not, they have sufficient amount of patents out there, and even more so lately as of August the 30th, 2022. So very recent stuff as far as what they can actually have in their actual vehicles. And keep in mind, they started Project Titan roughly about 2014, so I'm sure there's a ton of other patents in relation to that, and more so around the 2014 or even prior to that, and they have roughly about 80,000 plus patents, so it's very difficult to go through them all. So I did make it to August the 30th, and at that stage there was a sufficient amount in relation to a vehicle. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. I personally feel they just don't want to put out a huge amount of money to build actual facilities to produce all these vehicles, because that is where there's a lot of room for error potentially. So I think when it comes down to it though, I think when they are looking for who they can actually partner with, there's a lot of possibilities, one of which is Volkswagen. I think Volkswagen and Tesla are the most known ones that they potentially might work with, and based on this article it does say the exact same thing. So when it comes down to Tesla, we already know that most likely they will not bend down to Apple. They already think that they are the king of EVs, which most likely is accurate as of right now. But there's a ton of other companies out there all coming for Tesla's head, one of which is Lucid, GM. Basically anyone who's producing an EV is going to come for Tesla, including Apple. So if Tesla doesn't partner with Apple, then definitely is going to be a very big competition coming forward. Like I said, this decade is going to be having a lot of big things, especially with all the recent news about government switching to full EV vehicles by most likely around 2035, one of which is California, others Canada. A lot of actual governments are switching to the EV component, so I think Apple is going to jump all over this and prioritize this. In addition to all that though, I do personally feel that Lucid and 𝗪𝗓 are both very good candidates of as far as a partnership, because 𝗪𝗓 does have a very good battery component, which again doesn't matter about any other component, the technology. If you actually do have a good battery production, then again, doesn't really necessarily matter about anything else. Obviously everything could be purchased to some regard, but the battery cell production is one of the key attributes, and based on 𝗪𝗓, that could be a very good possibility, similar to Lucid. So let me know your thoughts on those in the comments below. But like I said, we might actually hear from Apple about their partnership tomorrow, and or even just developments when it comes down to that. But based on all the recent surveys, it does show that Apple Car is going to kick some major ass in the EV sector. So it's going to be very exciting. Whether it's a good time to invest in Apple because of that, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. If you are investing in Apple because of their Apple Car in the future, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. But like I said, based on all the patents that they do have, they have a huge amount, enough so that they can actually do their own vehicle, in my own opinion. They just don't want to bear the huge amount of cost associated with that. So I think that's one thing that they are really wanting to prioritize a partnership with. If they found one, I'm not sure, but obviously Apple has been doing a lot of actual research on their own as far as autonomous driving. So I think this is where they actually will be able to bring a lot of their own software to the game. And obviously when it comes down to autonomous driving and EVs, that's basically going to go hand in hand by 2025 or even possibly by 2030. So it's going to be a very interesting field to invest in. So with all that though, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. Also, let me know your thoughts on who you feel is going to be Apple's partnership with. Is it just going to be, for instance, Michelin, something completely different that nobody even is caring or thinking about? Or do you think it's going to be Volkswagen, Tesla, Lucid? There's a lot of different possibilities out there. And like I said, hopefully it will be announced very, very soon. But regardless, it will be announced in 2022. So we just have a couple months left until we actually know who the Apple partnership is going to be with. With all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It is always greatly appreciated. And with that said, thanks for watching.